G'day everyone, it's Will here from Singletrack magazine and singletrackworld.com, and I'm currently in Moab in Utah testing a couple of brand new bikes from Pivot Cycles. Day one of the launch we were checking out the Trail 429. Today however we've been testing a much bigger bike. This right here is the brand new Firebird 29. Now Pivot already has the Firebird 27.5 in its lineup. This joins the range as a 29-inch version. It's a pretty big bike. Aside from the 29-inch wheels, we've got a 170mm travel fork on the front, 162mm travel on the back via the DW Link suspension design. And just look at that carbon frame. It is absolutely enormous. Despite its big size though, it's still quite lightweight. So you're talking only about 3.2 kilos for the carbon frame with the Fox Float X2 shock on the back. So rather impressive. What's also impressive about this bike is it pedals really well. It is a Pivot, so that's not exactly a surprise. But given how big of a bike this is and how much travel there is, it actually climbs incredibly well. Today we've been riding a trail called Porcupine Rim, mostly a descending trail, but plenty of pedaling in there from start to finish, and lots of technical climbing as well, and this bike has handled it really damn well. Now there are a few clever features on this frame. For a start, it is dual wheel size compatible, so you can run it as we have here with 29-inch wheels. Pivot will be speccing it with 2.5-inch wide trail tyres, but you can fit up to a 2.6-inch 29er tyre in here. Now if you do want to run it as a plus bike, you can. There's room for a 27.5 by 2.8-inch tyre on the back, so loads of clearance to run dedicated plus rubber, and that makes it a pretty versatile bike with a load of travel for running proper big burly tyres. Some of the basic numbers on this bike: we've got a 65-degree head angle on the front, a 74.5-degree seat angle. For the medium that I've been riding, we've got a 455mm reach. So combined with that 65-degree head angle, that really kicks out the front of the bike. Another interesting feature of the Firebird 29, Pivot have elected to run a shorter fork offset. So we have a 44mm fork offset on here rather than the standard 51. Now they've done that to give the bike a little bit more of an aggressive turn in as far as cornering is concerned. This bike being a sort of super enduro park do-it-all freeride bike is likely going to be piloted by more advanced riders. So Pivot have given it handling accordingly. So that 44mm offset, it increases the trail figure, and according to Pivot, gives it a slightly more aggressive kind of turn in when you're cornering at high speed. As far as the riding we've been doing today, certainly I have gotten nowhere near the limits of this bike. I'm sure you'd have to ride it very fast on very technical terrain to find those limits. For a rider like me though, you've got a lot of travel and a lot of stability in reserve. When you're coming down the trail and you encounter those surprise drops that you think were originally going to be a rollover and you have to lift the front wheel and just drop into oblivion, this bike has saved my bacon on many occasions today. So I'm very glad that I've had this extra travel and extra beef with me on the ride today on Porcupine Rim. So first ride impressions, very impressed with how capable this bike is. Thoroughly surprised with how well it pedals too. So as far as a true do-it-all bike goes, this is right up there, the new Firebird 29 from Pivot. Now if you'd like to read more about my first impressions of this bike, make sure you jump on singletrackworld.com to check out all the details on the new Firebird 29 from Pivot Cycles. Thanks guys, Tooroo.